Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. We have Verasity on our radar in today's video, VRA on the exchange. Guys, I wanted to talk quickly about video on demand here, a nice article from these guys a few days ago on their Medium before we go into the chart. Of course, many awesome mechanisms of Veracity's technology. Around proof of view, we've obviously got the aspect of NFTs, proof of verified purchases, and things like this as well, which we saw towards the latter stages of last year going through on the patent perspective. And as patents going around left, right, and centre, we covered in the previous videos about being the first of its category. In China being patented as well. So loads of really cool stuff going on. But I really liked this article. It's talking about the video on demand. Now, I remember years and years ago, Sky TV, I'm sure across the world there's multiple different satellite services and whatnot that are very similar. And I remember, and I can't remember if this was when... like the likes of Netflix came out, whether Sky did it beforehand or not, I can't really remember exactly. But what I do remember is this whole aspect of when you were growing up and watching TV. I don't watch TV much anymore at all, if very very little each week. But growing up and everything, you were down to a schedule. It was literally like you'd have like the radio times, especially like Christmas and stuff, and you'd literally be told what you're going to watch or like when you're going to watch it. And of course that development of behavior and the way we as consumers were watching TV, there was a little switch across to us being in control. And the fact that actually I don't want to watch this film when it's telling me to. I want to watch it when I want to, or the series that I want to. And then, of course, what's happened is the market share has developed significantly. The likes of Amazon Prime, Netflix, we just mentioned. Of course, you've got like Disney Plus now, absolutely humongous. I can't remember one of the original ones. I think it's like probably like 10 years ago now. It's like Black Box or something. I can't remember what it's called. Someone might remember me. That aspect. But it's very much video on demand, but it didn't kick off. I don't think the branding was quite there. But of course, all these big companies pushed and made these really cool video on demand services. Now what's interesting about this when linking it to Veracity is of course you've got this mentality now of not even just having it on your TV, wherever you are, on your phone, on your browser. And a big part of this right now, particularly subscription based, you don't tend to get too many adverts on there, but indeed when it comes to things like esports, for sure, Prime have indeed started putting in adverts as well. I'm not saying that Veracity is powering any form of ad stacking or proof of view mechanism for Amazon Prime, but I'm sure they will eventually, I'm sure. But at the moment, of course, a lot of video on demand, video streaming are done on the likes of YouTube, Twitch, Vimeo, all these great channels and projects. These numbers are getting staggering year by year. I mean, this is incredible. $128 billion in revenue in 2022 for VoD services. Absolutely incredible. For the first time, video ad placement will account for more than half of all ad spending in the USA alone. Just to reiterate, the video ad placement, as in adverts being placed within streams, within video on demand services you're watching, will account for more than half of all ad spend in the USA. That is absolutely insane. Of course, 2.2 billion users will have access to some form of subscription by 2026. That is absolutely mental. And I think this is growing faster than they anticipated, because I remember 5 years ago doing a lot of data research where I worked around internet and networking and everything and IoT, and And these numbers weren't close to this. I know they're high, but they were nowhere near this. So it just shows you the adoption period that we're in with all this now. More and more people are getting more used to it. As we switch from analog to digital TV, people are getting fed up with it. They don't want to pay. They're fed up with BBC license fees and this, that, and the other. It's a joke. And it's like now, finally, people are realising that actually you can watch what you want, when you want, and how you want as well. But the point about veracity here is that proof of view mechanism. So we're talking about these staggering numbers of advertising through services, the various services that are available. That we covered this probably a few months ago, of how much fraudulent money is accruing itself within the space of advertising, right? And this is basically like publishers or potentially publishers having perhaps fake views or bots or things like these in their audience or perceived audience, and then obviously the advertisers were losing out on loads of money on these fake views and fake audience members. So the aspect of Veracity's proof of view mechanism, the ad stacking, and of course we did cover as well recently the really cool project partnership with Bright Cove, so really helping with that ad stacking perspective. This is going to be a humongous opportunity and technological advancement in advertising, and it's going to also save companies as well as people, even just general YouTubers, streamers, whatever. It's going to save people a lot of money that has been lost through fakeness, through arguably fraudulent advertising audiences, things like this. Here we go. Some of 11% of global advertising traffic is wasted on bots. We only have to look, even in the comments of our channels now, like there's just nonsense half the time. And it's not even my nonsense. It's these bots nonsense. Like, people try and fall for it. It's like, oh, so-and-so's made me a millionaire. Oh, can you tell me more about it? Yeah, sure, Helen. I'll tell you more about it. Like, it's just crazy. So, I mean, that's just comments. But I'm talking about, like, actual visual aspects. You see with so many YouTubers out there. Go and check some out. Some have, like, 300,000 followers or subscribers, supposedly. Yet their videos only attract, like, 1,000 views per video. And then if you look at the comments, like 90% of them are nonsense bots. So Google is potentially seeing that as like, oh wow, yeah, loads of views, loads of comments, this, that, and the other, or loads of, some have the higher views, but they're still botted. And it's like they're providing money to these YouTubers and stuff and wasting it. Now Google's a massive company, of course. And got very deep pockets, but at the end of the day, if you're looking at those kind of numbers, you're talking about like hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars wasted or lost on profit and loss accounts at the end of each year. Absolutely crazy. And it's not anyone's place to say, oh well, Google's big enough, they can handle it, this, that, and the other. Who cares? At the end of the day, you want the world to be as fair as possible, and this is just crazy. So Veracity's technology, in the back end of the ad stacking of the proof of view mechanism, and great to see the patents continuing across the world. I think this is just absolutely phenomenal. There's very little around that's like this. And of course, they've got the VRA Esports player now as well, where they can even integrate their own technology into their own projects. That's really cool. But also, we know they have partnerships with the likes of YouTube and Twitch and Vimeo already. And I'm keen to see 2022, especially with the roadmap that we saw in the last few videos, a couple of videos back, I'm really bullish on Veracity. I always have been since I first heard about it. But I'm holding it for the long term, as you know. I'm holding it and accumulating it, trying to stake it eventually. But for me, it's so early in this project. Honestly, I still believe that we can get to at least 30 cents in the bull run, whenever that may come, hopefully this year at some point. But some people are always calling out for $1, and I can absolutely see that happening because of the power and the magnitude and possibilities of Veracity. But my feet on the ground, I'm still anticipating at least 27 to 30 cents marker. Let us know what you think about that in the comments below. What's your price prediction still for 2022? And what do you think about Veracity? What do you think about all these cool things that they're doing? And I just love these articles because what they're doing is providing an ideology and then showing the solution that they have. And what I love is the data, the information in it. So that's one of the key things I like about projects is their tenacity to educate, to communicate. There's a lot of projects out there that just go quiet for ages or don't demonstrate community building, or they don't demonstrate at least expertise. I think Veracity ticks all those boxes. But enough of the waffle, guys. I'm going to jump into the chart now and we'll see where Veracity has been in the last few days since our last video on Veracity. So guys, let's take a look. We've got Veracity currently floating, as of recording, literally just over the 2 cent mark. We said this will probably happen in the last couple of videos, this whole aspect of trying to find stability. It looks like we're finding that very much so, hovering over this 1.8 kind of support mechanism on the fib retracement, very much matching, as we said in the previous videos, this area here back in August, and very key touch points where we shot through for price discovery back here in March last 2021 and also here in June 2021 as well, and the lovely support breakthrough, or sorry, resistance breakthrough in August as well in 2021. So we're now back floating at this area. We covered the last video, I think, when it was around about this early stage of this stability line that we've seen all week so far. We're still leaving our buy area here down at a lower region of just over 1.5 cents, just in the anticipation that we have a potential double dip session when it comes to things like Bitcoins and all the other asset leverages and things like that you don't see in the background all the time visibly easily. However, if we do of course get this stability here continuously, maybe for another few days, we might start seeing a penetration upwards again and start testing this macro level here, more so like we are right now today at 2 cents, but I would really like us to start pushing up to those higher regions of towards 2.5. I don't see that happening quite immediately unless Veracity comes out with some awesome news or something, but we did see a similar pan here, but that's what I'm saying. If we maybe potentially get that move up, we may have the final stretch down, or hopefully we can indeed maintain this area back up in these areas. Now look at this. A few days ago, fortunately I couldn't get the video out in time, the 26th of January, we were talking about the video on demand article here. I don't think it's just to do with that, but just the general thought process of Veracity. Of course, they've done a few conferences and things like that, synopsis as well, and maybe that had a bit of a tail up. But look at that, it really tried to push for that, and I thought, oh wow, okay, we're going to do this move, but it didn't last very long. We dragged ourselves back, and there we are. So I've got a payday in a couple of days. I'm hoping Veracity sticks around this area. It'd be really cool. I know it sounds a bit selfish. I will certainly be bagging a load more Veracity at this stage, but also anticipating a potential drop still. If it starts tailing up, so be it. Like, we're going to make some money for once, you know. It's been a very long 2-3 months for a lot of these projects and assets. I think we're definitely due some good positivity at some point soon. But the reason also I mentioned this area here is because it touches down on a previous resistance level that we had on the way down back here in September. So this is going to show, in my opinion, not just because the fib retracement line's there as well, but I think you're going to see some very interesting resistance on that stage a number of times, because we've also got this here that we couldn't quite penetrate earlier in January. Took ourselves back up, and it completely failed because of all the other things going on in the markets and the negative news around the world. So that's why we're back down here. But all in all, guys, that aside of what we're going to look at position wise in a few days time or over the next couple of weeks, I just want to stress the stability, the strength of Veracity right now and where we've come from. Once again, to reiterate, what's been going on. Look at that still on the year, 2,500% up. We've come down here, guys. Last January, at this particular stage in time, let's look at the 30th. A price on the 30th of a high of 0.0007. And We're already at 2 cents. Forget this massive run up that we had last year, all the way up nearly to 10 cents. You could pretend that didn't happen, and we're still 2 cents, and we're still this massive number up. It's incredible. Year to date, understandably down, but that is retracting. The 3 months is as probably high as it's going to be, hopefully, in my opinion. We may push that 80% barrier again, but it's reducing. The monthly is looking a bit better than it was, but we're finally green on the week as well. This is showing the stability and strength of Verasity. I'm not saying that we're going to go start pumping upwards, but for me, it's showing some really interesting signs for a good year ahead, right from the beginning of the year, basically. So we're having this sell-off here, the sell-off period here on the histogram, tailing off. Can we get that MACD to switch over here from the blue over across to the orange? But look at these indicators. Still very strong buying positions, in my opinion, on the 14-day, 32, beautiful. 37 on the 28-day, still under my usual target of 40. So very happy personally to be purchasing that, hopefully if it's still around this area in a couple of days time. And particularly on that 90-day, even if you go back a few days, it has crept itself down to a very nice average point of around 45, 46. I'm still, like I said, anticipating a potential small drop down on majority of assets. We'll have to see how that plays out, but I'm not one to just be like, oh, we've had our corrections, now it's done. I still believe that there's still a bit more of a shakeout to come. Hopefully I'm proven wrong, and we start to see a bit more of a tail up again. But until that happens, I'm just going through data, historic information, and what's going on with the world. I still don't think there's enough confidence in the world right now to keep us stable as I want us to be. But let's see how that plays out over the next few days and weeks. But that aside, as I said, on the RSIs, even so, if it comes down or it goes up, these prices are awesome. Anything under 5 cents, 10 cents for Verasity, in my opinion, is absolutely phenomenal. But these lower regions, it's, for me personally, this is not financial advice, an incredible position to accumulate. Let us know if you agree with that or not. But yeah, let us also know your price predictions. Let us know what you think about Verasity in general. What are you most excited about for 2022? Guys, we did a video with Zilica the other day. We mentioned the opportunity to potentially do a call-in show. Let us know if you think that's of interest to you guys as well. And we'll for sure maybe try and do that once a week where people can call in or video in or whatever onto the channel, discuss their points about crypto, their projects, or something that they want to look through. I love it, guys. I love this space, very passionate about it. And I know for a fact that many of you out there are as well. So guys, let us know what you think about that. But guys, we're going to wrap that up. Thanks for watching this Verasity video. We're going to do a few more videos on Sunday as well on many other assets. But until the next Verasity video, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you indeed in the next one. Bye.